This is Cutting Down the Nets. It's NCAA tournament time. It's play-in games, and it's 1:07 in the morning. I'm dog tired, but that's what happens this time of year. So I'm going to go through the 4 play-in games, and then the next day we'll go game by game for the opening round. So if you are new here, my name is Kane. This is Cutting Down the Nets, and I use an efficiency model to some success this year, 55.4% on nearly 900 games. What my model does, it's different than KenPom and Torvik, is it's using the same data, just weighting recent play significantly more than either site does, and I've shown that to be successful. And it makes sense. I mean, think about what's more valuable, teams or games that were played in mid to late February, or games that were played in November. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer to me. All right, let's get right to these play-in games. We'll start with 16 seeds, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi, Texas Southern. So shot quality favors Corpus Christi significantly. It's because they get so many shots at the rim, which I'll get to. Texas Southern does a good job of preventing. Paddy has this game close to a pick'em, and Corpus Christi is getting 3.5. Texas Southern is laying 3.5. So some benefits if you're on the Texas Southern side is they've been here before, but if you look at their run through their conference tournament, 2 of those games were significantly aided by some 3-point defensive luck. Like any game Texas Southern plays, they're going to be at a disadvantage from a turnover perspective. Now, they can force their own, but, I mean, we're talking significant turnover advantage for Corpus Christi here. Corpus Christi relies on points at the rim. They take 45% of their shots at the rim, and Texas Southern can limit that a bit, and they have a pretty solid rim defense. So overall, I'm looking at this from a possession standpoint and adjusted offensive and defensive efficiency standpoint. Based on recent play, I have this close to a pick'em, and when you consider possession by possession, I don't want to be on the team that can lose possessions and have empty possessions throughout the game with a major turnover disadvantage. So another thing is if you're going to struggle at the rim, you can remedy that with transition buckets off turnovers. So I am on the Texas A&M Corpus Christi side, but just like our final day of the season, I need to stress that these are not significant. 3 points of value, it's there, it's fine, let's go, but it's a tad thin. Wyoming, Indiana. So everything's pretty much in line at 3.5 to 4 points, and the line's 4. Xavier Johnson, Trace Jackson Davis versus Hunter Maldonado, and Big Ike. Edge to the IU defense here. There's just no value in this game for me. I expected to be on the Wyoming side, and just didn't work out that way. I don't make decisions. I let the data make decisions for me. Wright State and Bryant, the other 16 versus 16 game. Peter Kiss is the guy she told you not to worry about. Man, the most punchable face in America. But if he's on your team, you got to love him. So I like the transition opportunities for Bryant here and the ability to zone right, forcing them into mid-range jumpers. The way they set up their defense should bait Wright State into those inefficient shots. Bryant lives off pride, Kiss, and then their big man, who I don't even remember his name. But if any of those encounter any sort of foul trouble, I mean, it's thin. So it's a fragile projection. But I have Bryant favored. They're getting 3.5 points. I'm in on this game. I'm not going to talk myself out of it, is where I'd go. Rutgers and Notre Dame. I want to play the Notre Dame side, but obviously can't with the amount of value that's currently showing. But if we can just get this to flip and get some Rutgers steam, maybe a plus 1.5, then we're in business on the Notre Dame side. Concerns here, Rutgers has a defensive stopper with McConnell. I assume they'd put him on Wesley, but still plenty of shooters on the Notre Dame side. Again, need points. Just a little NIT sprinkled. No, I'm not going to unveil those tabs yet. But slight lean towards Oklahoma against Missouri State. Slight lean, Utah State against Oregon. Big lean here on Vandy over Belmont. And I've noted that Belmont has struggled with quality competition this year. They demolish bad teams and then they struggle against quality competition. I know Vandy's down one guy. I haven't seen anything else, but you do have to watch in these NIT games for people kind of self-excluding. Malachi Smith is injured for um, Dayton, and this is actually Dayton minus 7.983, in case you're wondering. So I lean the Dayton side, but without their point guard and with the frustration of being the last team out, not seeing a whole lot there. So I'm focused more on the NCAA tournament, but just a little sprinkle of NIT stuff. And I found better luck after that initial wave when people are kind of on their heels, finding value there. So how this looks for me, I lean Texas A&M, Corpus Christi. I like Bryant plus 3.5, and I lean Notre Dame if they're getting points. And I just don't see a scenario where I pick a side on Indiana, Wyoming. So tune in tomorrow, and we will get into the game by game projections for the NCAA tournament, and there are plenty of plays out there to be had.